Sabrina from Campbell's Freedom Farm, and today we're going to do something a little different. Let's talk Magnolia Market at the Silos. From the fixer-upper, Joanne and Chip Gaines. I mean, they're wonderful people. So Taylor, Stefan, and the two dogs and I decided we would take a trip down there. I wanted to be inspired by their gardens, and you know, we traveled just to get plants just for this video, and this was no exception. So when we went with the foster dog, I thought, oh, this is not going to go well. He's 7 months old. Even though he's well behaved for a 7-month-old, he's still a 7-month-old. So we went in, and it was totally different than what I expected. And I'm going to go through each store, but I want to do a quick view on everything. So for me, the Magnolia Market is what I really wanted to see, and their garden. So I told Taylor, you hold the foster dog and I'll go in first with Huggy Bear because he's a service dog. And the woman looked at me and said, isn't the other dog coming? I said, he's not a service dog, he's just in training. We allow all dogs in here. We would love to see him. After that, I realized we made a great choice on coming down here. Their family has always been important for the Gaines, and that includes their animals. And this was no exception for others. They want people to bring their family, whether it's 4 legs, 2 legs, whatever. So Rusty has been a changed dog. I actually thought he would get adopted down there. They loved him, he got treats, and we'll go into that, but let's go back to the market. All right, when you go to the market, you wanna realize it's 2 city blocks. It's larger than you think, and it's a gated community, which is great if you're bringing dogs and everything else. So when you go into the front gates, this is how I would do it. They have a sign that labels each one in order, and I think they do that so you follow that. So you make a big U. So the first shop that we went to, really, or should have, is the Magnolia Home. And what store is this? It's a very large store with furniture. The rugs are amazing. I mean, really beautiful rugs. And they have everything. They have evergreens in there. When you go in, you just can't stop looking. It's like going into the Gaines' homes that they have redone. That's all I could say. And the dogs love it there. Our foster dog is going. And it takes a good half an hour, 40 minutes to really look through stuff. And then as you leave, there's a coffee shop, and this is the Magnolia Press Coffee House, and it's attached. So I would go in the front and go out and get that coffee. It's amazing coffee, and let me turn the foster dog over here. Okay, this is Rusty, the foster dog, and you'll see him in all the photos. And so he's really bored, he wants to go outside. So anyway, outside of the coffee house is the beginning of the beautiful landscaping. It's a checkerboard grass area with tables and a big fireplace that's outdoor, perfect for posing for pictures with your dogs and whomever. So then after you do that, then we go to the next section. Before Joanne came back and started her empire, she was an intern for 48 hours with Dan Rathers. And obviously that's in New York, and she loved all the quaint stores that are filled with trees next to them and cute little bag stores, home goods stores. And this inspired her when she started this business to set up a street just like that. It is 6 stores, 3 on 2 equal sides, and filled with grass in the middle and trees. It is so quaint and so beautiful. But that's where she got the idea from, New York. So let's talk about the stores, 6 of them. There's Tried and True, which is handbags. I love the store. It's beautiful goods. There's Juniper and Crew, and this is a baby and children's store. If you want a baby gift, this would be an incredible place to get it from. And then there's a woman's clothing store, which is nice, very nice. But the one we loved is the Bath and Body. And men and women were in there. They have samples of oils all mixed together, and smells amazing in there. And they even sell OC, which is really hard to come by unless you order straight. It's very expensive, but they have this natural stuff. I was very impressed. Taylor was very happy. Another store is Chapter 1, and this is books and paper. And Stefan, who loves journals and writing, and him and I were in there, and he was so inspired. Even the cute pens, everything. It's perfect. And the last one is number 16, and that's a men's clothing store and provisions. And we really didn't go in there as much. I just looked in the window, but it looked fun, really fun. But these stores aren't large. They're just like cottages, quaint cottage style stores. And you just kind of go in and out of there. Now, what do you do after that? Well, then you go visit the food trucks. The food trucks, there are everywhere food trucks that go in a big circle. And in the middle of that is basically a field, a ball field. And it was inspired by Chip Gaines and his career in the athletic department. And Stefan was in there. Fathers would come and just throw balls for any child. It doesn't matter. When you go there, everybody works together. And that's what I liked. It's like a big family that visits. So, and when you're done with that, then it's time to shop again. All right, number 3 on their map is the Magnolia Market. And that's the one I really wanted to see. It's right next to the silos. And this time of the year, it's filled with Christmas trees, which is beautiful. And when you walk in, you are just so welcomed. They have candles, they have little furnitures, they have the cutest cookware. I mean, they have everything. And the ornaments, to get an ornament there to kind of a tribute of your vacation there is kind of cool. But it's so beautifully decorated. But what I liked about it is the people. The people that worked there were just so friendly. They wanted to pet the dogs. They told us their stories. They listened to ours. I mean, it was really a wonderful thing. And so, and it's really hard not to buy anything there because everything is adorable. And they had some great greenery and cutting boards. It's for everybody in there. So after that, we decided we had to try Joanne's Baked Goods. All right, the next store is the Silos Baking Company. And it's a century-old building that used to be used by the cotton oil mill. Later on, when it went out of business, it became a floor shop where Chip Gaines used to buy flowers for Joanne. So it was only fitting that Joanne, and by the way, in one of her episodes on Fixer Upper, turned it into the Silos Baking Company. And I'm not a big fan of sugar, sweets, hate the thought of cupcakes, but we decided that we would just pick one and share it since we're not into sweets. And we picked the lemon lavender cupcake in this cute box with her cute bottles of water. My biggest regret is that we didn't get our own. It was not filled with sugar. It was just wonderful taste. It was cooked perfectly. And if we go back, which I know we will, we're going to try some of the other stuff like Cup of Joe cupcake, which is a coffee cupcake, or the shiplap coffee cake. I think I said that wrong. And they have tons of other stuff. All these items on their menu are only $3 to $3.50. I think $3.50 was the most expensive thing, but it was wonderful. But basically, let's go to the next section. After all, we are a garden channel. We have to talk about the gardens. Before the Magnolia Market became what it is today, they had a Magnolia Seed Plus Supply building, although it wasn't called it back then. It was just a storage for their old retail space. But they turned it into the Magnolia Seed Plus Supply building. It's adorable, and there's a greenhouse next to it. What do you find inside of it? You find gloves, seeds, just cute little tools, and it's just fun to see. But outside of that are the most beautiful gardens. I mean, they really work hard on their gardens. Most of them are raised, and they intertwine grapevines all through, and they mix vegetables and flowers all together. I think I walked through it 3 times, so you'll see a lot of photos on that. But the grounds of the silos is 4.9 acres, and around each store and pathway are rose bushes and foliage plants, all that lead to a beautiful old church. One of the oldest buildings in Waco was in 1894, and it was the old church, which had become abandoned for, I think, 30 plus years. Joanne and Chip Gaines moved it to the location it is now, restored it just for people to see. I mean, that's what they do, right? They restore, and they do a great job. Talk about a photo opportunity, it would be here. The last 2 things that you need to do are the Ballpark Concessions. So before that, you want the kids to run around the ball field. It's wonderful. They can play. Like I said earlier, everybody just migrates there. They sit in chairs or benches located all around. And there's one thing that we promised Stefan and the dogs was to go to the Ballpark Concession. Why? Well, for Stefan, it's the cotton candy, but for the dogs, it's the vanilla ice cream. I know any vets listening, I know it's bad, but they want a treat too, and that's at the end of the video. It was really cute. They also have, for people with dogs like us, there's a pet relief section, and you just walk your dogs, you clean up after your dogs, and all the restrooms have water bowls for the dogs. I mean, they really go out of the way for the dogs as long as they're well behaved. So, but this was a great opportunity. I hope everybody goes visits. I'll send all the links that you could go to, and please subscribe, like, and share.